Receivers. Meaning. Paragraph 1. The meaning of LPA or LPA receiver obviously derives from the root word LPA, and LPA basically means Law of Property Act. This law refers to the Act 1925, and the Act was derived basically to determine all the relationships between tenants, landlords, ownership of land, etc. It later in the early or the late 1900s became further defined by financial tools once people were able to buy or purchase properties with mortgages, and therefore the relationship or the definitions of mortgagors, who are the debtors, and the mortgagees, who are the lender banks, also became incorporated. So in simple terms, the root word Law of Property Act 1925 determines the first half of the meaning. So LPA. Now, paragraph 2. The word receiver basically means that, or those people or parties, organization that have the appointment to receive an asset in terms of the LPA property law. Now, combined, an LPA receiver is simply a receiver who is acting within the law of LPA and is determined by the definitions in the LPA law as to their duties and their rights and the procedures. So, in conclusion, paragraph 3, LPA receiver, and the word meaning is derived from two parts. The first part being from the Law of Property Act 1925, and the receiver being derived from those who have the power to receive. Paragraph 4. Receivers in their normal definition normally stem from matters of bankruptcy. Now, once somebody is made bankrupt, the receiver or the trustee in that matter is the person appointed by the official receiver. Now, the official receiver is the governmental body that has the right to take control or custody of assets or any deposits of money that are with a individual who is made bankrupt for the purpose of settling their affairs. The matter of bankruptcy and the process of bankruptcy I'll discuss later, but generally, if you put the two words together, you have LPA receiver, and that is, in simple terms, a receiver who is appointed under the Law of Property Act 1925 in cases concerning properties. Now, there's another definition that's also applied, paragraph 5. The fixed charge receiver is another definition for an LPA receiver, and this terminology predominantly is used in Northern Ireland and in certain places in Scotland. And all that it does is it reconfirms that LPA receivers are normally and mostly appointed where a fixed charge has been applied. And a fixed charge can only be applied on bricks and mortars, so on solid assets. So again, it refers back to the Law of Property Act 1925 that determines all of the various relationships between a landlord, their tenant, the mortgagor, the mortgagee, and the obligations on each party in terms of land acquisition and the relationship between a landlord, a person who owns land, between people who own freehold and leasehold. So it's one of the largest acts, and it is quite broad. And in terms of the particular matter of an LPA receiver, it still is somewhat archaic. Paragraph 6, the LPA receiver law and the LPA receiver appointment hasn't been amended for quite some time, and you will find many clauses or many subclauses or definitions in there are subject to renewal or scrutiny. Unfortunately, this type of revision of this law will only take place once there is a higher level governmental interest in doing so. Unfortunately, because the law is determined by the lender banks, therefore until there becomes a genuine concerted effort by government, by politicians, and by their constituents, the Law of Property Act will remain somewhat unchanged in various aspects.